Hi there YouTube, this is Johnaget with the Walk-Ons again, and today I'm going to show you a very easy way to polish the internals in a Tippmann marker, Alpha Black marker, any of these Billback style markers that have this overspray in here, and I'll show you that in the camera here in a second. It's super simple, and it's very easy to do. It's something you can do in an afternoon just to get some spare time. Reasons that you might do it: mainly to reduce wear on the O-rings and the bolt, make the motion of the hammer and the bolt more fluid, and just it's better for the overall operation of the gun to have as little resistance as possible. And what you'll need to do this is Brillo pad, just a simple basic Brillo pad, nothing special. This box of 8 was $1. You could use just that. I like to use that in a combination with some aluminum polish. This is just some Mother's aluminum polish that I have sitting around in my garage. And I also have a file that I use to get rid of any of the paint that's kind of in here, which isn't really as important. I'm sure you can do it with just the Brillo pad, but I find this little file to work really well. So to show you what we're going for here ultimately is, if you look here, I've done this half already, as I'm sure you've noticed. This half is unfinished, and this is the way it comes from Tippmann. It's just like this. I see kind of an angle there. It's all got this kind of black coating to it, really oversprayed. If you listen, you can hear a lot of drag, a lot of from that overspray in there, just on your bolt and your O-rings, drag all across that. This is the section here that I've polished. If you look, it's got a nice shine to it. There's some spots I could probably do better in this area. I'm not super worried about it because the power tube really bolts in there. So where I'm really focusing is on back here and up here where the front of the bolt is. Now if you listen closely here on this side that's polished, you hear almost nothing. It's very smooth. It's very kind of glossy and shiny, and it's very easy to do. The Brillo pad is really gentle. It takes a little bit longer with the Brillo pad to do it this way, but you don't have to worry about taking away too much material at any point that you're going to cause any real damage there. That's why I like this method. There are other methods where you can use different grits of sandpaper and things like that. But my concern there is people taking too much or grinding, really grinding this down too much or using the wrong grit or things like that. So this is a real simple way to do it yourself with little chance of actually damaging the marker in any way. So we're going to go inside to my sink where we're going to do this, and I just have a sink full of warm water, a little bit of soapy water. That's mainly for rinsing and keeping the Brillo pad wet. I have a towel that's laid out, and I like to do it out of the sink. That way it's easier for me when the Brillo pad's nice and wet, and I just keep going back and forth. And in the video I'm just going to show you how I polish that in the sink on this one half, and I probably won't go through the whole thing just to save time. I mean, it could take 10 to 15 minutes and we don't need to spend that much time on it. So we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so here we are. I got like I said before, I got a towel, my Brillo pad right here. I have a sink full of water, and then I realized that with the camera I couldn't quite reach the way I wanted to, so I've taken some of that soapy water and I've put it in this little bowl here for the Brillo pad. So in order to do this, it's quite simple. You just take your Brillo pad, get it nice and soaked. You may want to have a towel handy too, just in case it's wet and watery. And I'll start on this first section here and show you. So you just take your Brillo pad, and you only need to do the part where the bolt touches. You stick your fingers in here. I stick my whole thumb in and start polishing away. You'll notice that it'll start to have much less resistance as you're polishing with the Brillo pad, and you can keep checking it periodically to see what your progress is. The more force that you put, the quicker it's going to go, and just make sure you're nice and consistent with the pressure, and it should go nice and easy. You won't have like little wavy spots and have to keep going back at it. Alright, so once you got a section done, you can either wipe it away or you can dunk it. I'm just going to wipe it away here. So, I mean, it's not going to come perfect, some of the aluminum, because I think because the pieces are cast, they'll have like little pucks in them. But let's see if I can show you. So we got front portion there, and then it goes into the regular portion. See, it's kind of gritty and gray, and then it's much smoother. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up without you guys. That way, the video is not too long, and then I'll bring you back in the shop, and I'll show you how we do the polishing with the mothers that I like to do. All right. All right. So we're back in the shop here, and what we're gonna do, what you can see is I finished the rest of the other half of the receiver, and I'm going to try, if you look really closely, you can kind of see the imperfections and the nicks and stuff inside of the casting, and that's what inspired me to use the aluminum polish, because if you look on the other side here, I don't know if you can see it super well, but they don't look as severe. They look a lot smoother. They have a little bit more of a glossy finish to them. So I just think it's kind of a nice finishing touch to the whole project. So it's really, really easy, as most of the things that I do are apparently. You just take your polish, and this is just a Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. Most of us have this kind of stuff just sitting in our garage. Towel. Take a good portion of polish, and usually you'd go in a circular motion. It's a little difficult to do inside of here, but you'll just put it inside the part that you want to polish, and you'll just start going to town on it. And what's going to happen is it's going to quickly start to turn black, and it's pulling all the see that right there? It's pulling all the little bits of impurities and stuff out of the metal, kind of polishing them out, getting them all clean. So you just keep going until you really can't go anymore. You're satisfied with how it looks, what the finish looks like, and you just keep polishing it. It'll keep coming out black as long as it's polishing and taking material away. So you just keep going and going and going. So this side of the receiver is a little bit easier because it doesn't have the feed neck. The feed neck can be a little bit more tricky to maneuver around for the Brillo pad portion and the polishing, but it's not that big of a deal. Once you've done it for a while, you just take a clean portion of the towel that you're using and just kind of wipe it away. And it should have a nice smooth texture. You can still see the imperfections in there, the bigger ones, but it's got kind of it's got kind of a little bit more of a shine to it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's just a really easy way to finish it off. You can really feel the difference too. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll finish off the other side here. that's pretty much it. Then you just clean off what excess you have on there. Make sure it's nice and nice and dry. There's nothing in there, and then you can reassemble your marker. That's all there is to it. It should be. And I don't know that you're going to notice like a humongous like difference, but I think that there's if you're shooting like full auto or you have an RT or something, it'll be a little bit more, just a little smoother, a little bit more fluid. It's an easy, cheap little project to do. Heck, you can do it just if you're bored, even on a Sunday or something. You're hanging around, you want something extra to do, and that's really all there is to it. If you don't know how to take apart the 98, I have another video on the channel where you can check that out and learn how to take it all the way apart down to here. It's not very difficult. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. If you want me to do anything else, send me a message. Thanks.